Australia Day Racing, Daggy and Beaver with you on a public holiday, ready to get your tips out for the boys, Beaver. What's going on?
Mate, what is going on? Australia Day. Happy Australia Day to all the folk out there, mates. Great day and great we've got it off to watch a little bit of racing.
And some good racing too. We've got, let me just think, hang on. Oh, see, I don't want to talk about the weekend, so let's just move on from that. Yeah, good racing. The traditional Caulfield card, obviously, at Sandown. As it has been and will be through autumn with the renovations there. Looks a good little card.
It looks a tricky card. I found it really hard to line a lot of the horses up. A lot of horses coming off winning form, bit of mixed form in there, and I think there's plenty of chances out there. So probably a fairly tough card.
I thought Warwick Farm was probably tougher actually, but we'll start at Sandown, which is the featured card here with the Rail and the True. Good track on the hillside. One of my favourite betting setups. So we kick off with the staying race, a benchmark 70 over the 2,400 metres. How do you want to start the day here?
Yeah, again, as we just touched upon, a really tricky race here. You've got all different form lines and some horses coming off some really good form. Like a lot of these horses have won in their last couple of starts. I've settled on Pacino around the $5 mark. I think 2 runs prior to its last finished off very nicely over the 2,000. Stepping out to the 2,400 here, I think suits. And I think last run, while it finished 8th, wasn't as bad as it looks on paper. Got back in the field and did run on okay. Only finished less than 3 lengths off them. I think this can suit, and I think on the good track here will help. So back to Sandown, hasn't started at this track, so if it handles the track, can run on well and be hard to beat.
Is Ben Brisbane your new Paul Pruska? Seem to find him a lot lately.
I do like him, particularly in the staying races. I still like Paul Pruska, but just like horses run well and they're pretty consistent and seems to train a good stayer.
Cool. I'm with the favourite. I think Wahani Toa is going quite well. Just missed the bob behind a horse that's flying in So Unusual last time out. Has had a couple of runs over 24, which is good. Before that, beat a bunch of key rivals convincingly at the Valley, so I think it's not a bad way to start the day. I had That's Incredible as the main danger. Mickey D flying at the moment. Stables just coming good there. Paddy Payne off the win, and Angel will bob along up on pace as well. But I thought it was not a bad way to start the day with the favourite.
Yeah, certainly had consistent form there. He's getting up in the weights now for the last couple of runs. So as long as it can carry the weight, I think you're right, it can run well.
Well, claiming back down to this 57, so that's why I was not too concerned. The benchmark 70, 1,400 metres is up next, where I was looking towards the Flemington form here. Actually, Ryuki, I thought looks good. Gate 1 hopefully can sit a bit closer, but 2 good runs to date, now 3rd up. Lead is back with Dean Holland, even like that. Sandown Straight's fairly... A lot of horses don't tend to have a lot of bad luck there, unless I'm on them. So starting day with it, just was a shade concerned about where it Warrnambool form, although Miso's come out and franked that. And one at a price, Intisar, I think it's going really well this prep. It was 2 nice wins, and then just got a 7th from 7th on the card, but it was almost a tragedy beaten. It was dragged right back in a slowly run race and hit the line beautifully, and around 20-1 I think might be a great exotic play here, but predominantly with the 6 for me, Beaver.
Yeah, another tough race here, trying to line up the different form lines, given that all of them are in pretty good company of horses that have come out and run well since performing well. So, and I talk of Wishlaw, Lass and Ryoki, the 2 in the market. I've just looked for a little bit of value here in Lady Adelaide. Thought it could run really well. It's up in class here, but really impressed the way it won last start. Braindham at Cranbourne. I think the 1,400 suits. Prior to that, had seen the Sandown Lakeside and ran well first up. Paddy Payne has this horse improving all the time, and 3rd up here, I think at the $7 each way value can run a nice race.
Beautiful. The first of the black type on the card is the listed Blue Diamond preview for the boys. We're only about a month away from the Blue Diamond and the proper stuff. So Tricky race. So I do have the favourite on top again. The instructor, a little professional, jumped out well and then was very good at packing them on debut. But there's talented horses here, and I think I don't necessarily want to dive into 230 because I think a horse like Five Followers trialled well. All the Moody horses and Altruist all have ability. So I think this is a good race. So maybe a bit short, but favourite on top for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I got the favourite on top as well. I agree with you. The 230 was a little bit skinny, and I think you might get better come race time.
Yeah.
Bit hard to line up some of the unraced here, so tread with caution, watch the markets, but yeah, to the instructor on top for me.
The girls' version is up next, which is a Group 3 over the 1,000 again for the 2-year-olds. Any confidence here?
Yeah, not a lot of confidence here. Couldn't really get a line on some of the form here. I wasn't convinced about the favourite.
Me neither. I agree with that.
I was probably more looking for the number one, Exploring from the Cummings stable. Had a nice win at its only start, and the first starter from the Freedman stable, Elderberry. They're the two that I was sort of playing around.
Elderberry on top for me. I thought it was a really nice mover watching its trials. Looks a nice style of a horse, and both jump outs were good. Gets a nice run on gate here for Ben Mellum. So on top for me, and maybe giving us a chance to Barter Set, who's trialled well. Back onto a dry track might be the key there, but gets dry set up and a couple of nice trials, first up, second prep. Again, just thought the favourite with Jamie Carr inside gate. Was happy to play around it. The fifth, Benchmark 70 over the 1,400 metres, where I think the Netanyahu form is the right form line here, which has left me with just Jono on top. Had the setup here, hit the line quite well. Closer or inside gate draw now. Hopefully even luck for a stable that's going quite well. Lindsay Smith at the moment. And I think runs well here. From Sandy Prince, second up will be better for the run. Ollie on and dry track helps. So they're the two I'm looking at. Beaver, what have you made of this one?
Yeah, I had Josh Jono on top as well. I thought those form lines would be hard to beat. I like the one gate, and I think third up again. Points in favour of a good run. It's only missed the placings once in its career, so we know it's ultra consistent. So just Jono on top for me. Want to see Blow In do something before I follow it again. Kind of did like it a couple of times this prep, but slightly disappointing. And I know you sort of said Sandy Prince, but Sandy Prince's best form has actually been on softer going. Not sure how it goes on the better tracks.
No, fair call, actually. The sixth is the listed 1,000 metres. As for blowing, I'm just not backing Craig Williams at the moment. Leave me out, so cool. I was happy to pen him. 1,000 metres, WJ Adams Stakes is up next for the sprinters. We've got Star Patrol as favourite. Do you trust it? Are you looking that way?
100%. I went, Star Patrol is a good horse. And has raced in much better company than most of these. And I just thought, it's ran second to Passive Aggressive before the 2 preps ago, then had the only one start where it was not far off them behind Shooting for Gold in a good quality race at Caulfield. I think it's got ability, and I think, Dragonstone's on the third line of betting here. I'm a bit concerned.
Yeah, Gate 3 Dragonstone's not for me.
I would have not at all Dragonstone for me.
You had enough. I would have found On the Lead on top, but I'm not backing Craig Williams. So I've got Star Patrol on top. I don't know why, I just have a bit of a Nick feeling, but you've outlined the case for it. So we'll leave it there. I can make a better case.
I know On the Lead beat Inundation last start, but something was amiss there. It folded up, so it may have made that win look a little bit better than what it was.
Yeah, fair call. The Manfred Stakes over 1,300 metres is up next to Group 3, and I was tipping Jacquinot in an Everest, so coming back to what is effectively a benchmark 78 on Australia Day, I have to bet here. Best horse, very talented horse. Interesting first up at 1,300 metres, but I didn't think too much about this. I saw it in and I'm betting. Simple as that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you can get even money, to be honest.
Yep.
It's won an Everest. I know it's got 59
Renwell
on
and
its
Everest,
back.
but yeah.
Yeah, well, Renwell and an Everest. Yeah, sorry. But also won the Group 1 at beating In Secret at Rose Hill. Won a Group 3 beating at Aft Cabin. As you said, it was only a length or so off them in the Everest, and got back and ran on beautifully at the last start at Flemington when really not given much of a chance. It's clearly on top, 1-2 from 2 first up.
Yep. I like
It's
it.
a benchmark quality field.
Yep. Keen. It's my best of the day. I'm not allowed to say that.
Me
word,
too.
Race 8 is we're finishing with a 1400 metre listed John Dillon Stakes, where I have Pal Dior on top. I like what it's done this prep, even the third last time out to Corner Pocket, and looks like Elvis had, I think, a stronger race than this, even though maybe Elvis just needs to be banned in Sydney. Didn't cover itself in glory on Saturday, but stronger race there. I do think the bet here, though, is Dawn Passage at each way price, around a $10 mark now. I think you can roll along on pace and give you a nice sight if you can get around the 280 a place there. Cover the rest of that. East Indian Man will go on my quaddie, but yeah, that's the race for me, Beaver.
Yeah, I think I've got Gentleman Roy on top. Look, I think, I tried to look around it and I just went, this horse has won 7 of 15 in its career. Goes well first up, probably jumps and dictates a lot of this race. I think it's easily the best horse in this race, having won some group quality races and ran well in Group 1s, not far behind Tuvalu, a length. I just think it's clearly the best horse in the race. It is first up with 59.5, but again, you're against horses that, a couple of starts ago were racing in benchmark 70s. So I've got it on top, but I think Dawn Passage, as you said, could be the knockout. Will be fitter after its first up run. It loomed up at Flemington and just didn't quite finish it off.
Yeah.
I think can run well again.
Beautiful. Are we doing an Australia Day quaddie? Do you want an Australia Day quaddie, Beaver?
Might as well, mate. I'll give it a whirl. The first leg, race 5. I'm going to go number 6, Pocket Change, number 7, Savvy Sovereign, number 8, Just Jono, and number 10, Designer Dreamer. In the second leg, which is race 6, I'm going to go number 2, Estella Rocca, number 5, Star Patrol, number 6, On the Lead. In the 7th, which is the third leg, I'm going to go number 1, Jacquinot. That's it.
Cool.
And in the last leg, race 8, I'm going to go number 1, Crosshaven, number 3, Gentleman Roy, number 5, Dawn Passage, number 8, Pal Dioro, number 9, Umgawa, and number 13, East India Man.
Beautiful. What's your best and value?
My best is clearly race 7, number 1, Jacquinot. I think it's going to be the hardest to beat on the day. And my value bet, which I'm just trying to find, comes up in race 2, number 2, Lady Adelaide.
Lovely. My best 7-1 Jacquinot. I do think Wahine Tower runs well in the first 2. My value, race 8, number 5, Dawn Passage, if I had to stamp on there. So good card from Hillside. Looking forward to seeing how the road to the Blue Diamond progresses. We head to Sydney for the supporting card, which is from Warwick Farm, where the rail is true. Currently a soft track. Beautiful day in Sydney. I think we might see another rough upgrade there. That's drained out quite well. We kick off with an 1100 metre maiden, where my notes simply say no idea. Do you have any?
Mine say similar here as well. I didn't have a lot of an idea, so I kind of left this one alone.
Yeah, same. Further I delved, the more confused I got. The second 1400 metre maiden, some key scratchings here, including my top pick. So I'm left with the lead-up form, which is the Englishman. Ran well enough. First up there, better for the step up in distance, or sticking to distance, better for the run, and getting where am I here? And getting the outside draw, I think, come into play here on a softer track from Gago, who beat it home. So they're the two. Mr. Wallace will bob along on pace under Tim Clark now, if not a lot of pressure, and probably run third. So that's it for me there. What do you think?
Yeah, I've gone for Wild Palm.
Okay.
From the Nation stable. It's sort of had a couple of preps and sort of had the runs taken out. So potentially just hasn't been ready in those. Trialled well, and then they took it to Gold Coast. And I thought that was a pretty good run. Got well back in the field and finished off quite nicely over the 1200. I think the 1400 suits here. More experience, a bit more fitness. I think it can run well.
You see a bit of that form around, actually, that site out of that race through the next couple of days. The third is a mile 60, 600 metre benchmark 64. Generally what they run the mile races over. And what do you like here?
Yeah, tricky race, but I've gone for the favourite gleefully. I think the step up in distance to the 1600 last start really suited, powered to the line. Now it's broken through. I think it can go on with it and has Waller McDonald. So have to say, J-Max disappointed me of late. It's been on a lot of favourites, which he normally is, but horses that look like they're going to win, and he hasn't quite been able to get them home. So hoping that luck changes a bit.
Yeah, I've got it on top. Don't want to take the 220. I've lost a couple of scratchings. So Main Danger, Osbred Rising, nice debut. Comes to town, 1600 suits, but not telling you anything. The market's not there. Race 4, benchmark 72, 1200 metres. Are you keen on J-Mac on this favourite?
Yeah, I'll stick with it here. The money's come for it. Again, it was a pretty good win last start, beating what I think's got a little bit of ability in busting. Comes back to Sydney here, looks to have the right setup, drawn well, J-Mac, clear on top, but short odds to find out.
Yeah, it feels short. On top, clearly, as well. Bitcoin Baby did beat it home last time and then went to a Saturday race. Main Danger and Shadow Devil's going better than what the last start looked anyway, so it can run well. One for your early quaddies there. The 5th, benchmark 72 over the 1400 metres, where I have gone with, like the value here, around mission value. It's going quite well. It's going to be up on pace. Give you a nice side here. Josh Parr, Tyler Schiller on, actually, I should say. But I thought there's some holes in this form, so I did on top. Just back in the on pace here from Silent Agenda, back from Saturday grade, been ticking over okay. An interesting runner, Bon Vivant, who's had 2 quiet trials, but you look back through its form, ended up in some of the feature staying races over the carnival. Before that, the shorter course stuff was pretty good. Get Sam Clipperton and a double figure price, I think it's worth a little spec here. So they're the main 2 I was looking at. I was just looking away from some of that Warwick Farm lead up, actually, for better or worse. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. This is a really interesting race. This is the one of the ones I talked about at the start of the show. I've gone for Sea Lion. I just thought it was a nice first start, then showed some good improvement at Canberra last start. I think if it continues, it'll go up on pace and may give them something to catch here. So I kind of really went that way. That it might Clark might rate it here in the bob along and be hard to beat. But I agree with you with Bon Vivant. I think it's worth a spec here. The 1400 is probably not its best distance, but if fresh enough, it's had some decent form in group racing.
Yeah. Definitely one for my quaddy when we get to that. The 1,000 metre benchmark 72 is up next, where I'm sticking with blue colours that we just talked about. Silvanito on top for me. Did some okay stuff for last prep. Trials have been good. Looks a wet tracker, so the cat out of the ground's going to help here. And hopefully we're swooping and can give you a nice side, and now at an each-way price. From the obvious danger in Petulant, who does need another win, but comes here off again, some good trials, and Never Seconds trialled up well for this as well. So I think they're the main 3 for me in this one.
Yeah, I went for the blue colours as well. Just thought it was drawn a bit better than Petulant, drawn at 11 at Warwick Farm, over the 1,000. Sometimes it'll be pretty tricky out there. If you don't get across, might have to go back and then have too much to do, or if it gets caught wide. So I just went for the better draw at the better price. And you're right, it had some decent form and lasting work. One it's made and then put out. And I liked its last trial behind a pretty good horse in Afcaden. So I tried it against a good horse there, the Cunning Stables. So it on top for me.
Definitely. The feature is the Australia Day Cup, a listed race over the 2,400 metres with all of our old favourites turning up here, Beaver. Who's on top for you?
Yeah, look, I've gone for Spirit Ridge. I think it bounced back last start. I did tip it, and it won well at Flemington after a couple of nice runs, first and second up. Again, getting out to the 2,400. Goes okay over that distance. Goes well in the soft going. Everything points to it to be hardest to beat. And one at odds, Outlanders, was taken up to Gold Coast by Sargent, and it ran a really nice race, coming home from the back of the field to just miss behind Skylab. So I think it's working towards a win, and it could be today. So don't let that get under your guard.
Beauty. I've got Mission Phoenix on top. It does have to tick the 2,400 metre box, but in a race where there's not a lot of actual chasers, I think it's going to get a bit of control here, roll along on pace with the favourite, perhaps sitting slightly just off it, and I think they can fight at the finish. Mission Phoenix and Spirit Ridge, they're both, as I said, going to be on pace, and I just could not get enthused about any other chasers here. Bonnie Ezra next best for me, but I will. You've mentioned I will throw Outlanders into the quaddie when I get there. We finished the day with a benchmark 72 over the 1,400 metres, where I'm going to finish the day with Ponca. Inside gate. It's been heavily tried actually this morning, just looking at this, but it comes off a nice run last time out in a much stronger race up in the Vaux Rogue there, where it ran well. That form stacked up. We saw Fashion Legend come out race and win the millions. So back to midweek grade looks good for me. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I thought Ponca looks really hard to beat here. Had a couple of nice wins, and obviously the stable thought have an opinion of it, taking it up to Doomben, where it didn't disgrace itself. Fashion Legend and start twos on in this, and so that's pretty good form. My only concern is the softer going and the inside gate, but I'm thinking by about
it'll be dry by then. Right.
The track might have been upgraded to even a good 5 or something like that, you might find.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not too worried about the wet there. The Straight A quaddie, I guess we'll look at this for the sake of completion. First leg, we'll go 1 Silent Agenda, 4 Regal Pom, 5 Bon Vivant, 7 Mission Value, 8 Sea Line, 10 Cadetship. Second leg, 3 Never Second, 13 Petulant, 14 Silver Tiano. Third leg, 1 Spirit Ridge, 2 Bonnie Ezra, 4 Mission Phoenix, 9 Outlandos, 10 Raging Bull, and we'll come home with 12 Ponca and 12 Ponca and 8 Aaron Moore. Throw 13 Wollongby in if you feel so inclined. I'm on a bit of a mission here. My best, I'll make it Mission Phoenix. Race in the staying race, race 7, number 4. And best value, Mission Value, race 5, number 7 for me. What did you think, Beaver?
Yeah, I've gone my best race 8, number 12, Ponca. And my value bet is race 7, number 9, Outlanders.
Beautiful. Anything else from around Australia? I don't even know where we are in Queensland. Bow Desert, apparently.
Yeah, pass.
Right.
I didn't go there, mate. Saw Bow Desert and shut up shop.
No, fair enough. We'll get your best from Queensland on the weekend instead when we return to look at Canterbury Stakes and the Valley as we head towards the autumn racing. Enjoy your day off, Beaver. Good luck to Savo. Take care, punters. Stay safe, stay happy, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.